Okay, the fluids have been checked.
Yep.
We're in the car. Have the keys in the ignition. It's time to fire this podcast up.
Yes, it is time to fire this podcast up. Welcome, everybody, uniting all generations and types of Mopar fans, lovers, and enthusiasts everywhere. From Walter P. Chrysler to today's Mopar and beyond, this is episode number 12 of the Mopar Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm your host, Scott Gresser, Mopar since 1960. And as always, ever so grateful and never taking for granted that you can join me here on the Mopar Podcast. Email me at walparpodcast@aol.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Threads. Search Waltpar Podcast. And on YouTube and Rumble, search Waltpar. Well, I found out I had a show to go to on June 9th, and that was in Chardon, Ohio at the Mopars at Junction show. It was their 17th annual. I went last year for the first time, and I went this year as well. Had the Cordova shined up, ran good as always. That car is so reliable and just so predictable. It's great, especially when it's old and you know what you can and can't do to it. So I took it, entered it in the 1975 and up class, and there was some nice cars there. I had a beautiful M-bodied Chrysler Fifth Avenue parked next to me, and saw a couple of my friends from the Mid-Ohio Mopars, Robbie and John. And so I took all the pictures, and you saw them on my social media. And I also took them for the Mid-Ohio Mopars, as I always do. So I had to leave a little bit early, just before the awards ceremony, because it was a judged show. And the thing is that I left because I had to pick my wife up. She doesn't have a driver's license, so I was, about an hour and 45 minutes away. So I went to go down to make sure I was back in time to pick her up from work because she had to work that day. Well, I get this phone call from Bobby. And I think, oh, he's just going to let me ask to make sure I got home okay. No big deal. So then he goes and tells me he had some good news. And I'm thinking, okay, I must have won a door prize. No, I didn't win a door prize. I won the class. I couldn't believe it. The Cordova won. It's the second show it's ever won at. And I was just amazed. And I'll be picking the trophy up tonight at the Mid-Ohio Mopars meeting because I wasn't there to receive it there. He picked it up for me, and I'll be able to get it tonight. So thank you so much to the people at Junction Auto Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Chardon, Ohio, for putting on another great show. And thank you so much to the people there who judged and selected me to be the best of that 75 on up class of Chrysler products. I appreciate it very, very much. I've been out on the show circuit lately. It's been very hot here in Ohio. It almost rivals to what I went through in Florida. But Florida, the heat there, it is hot, but yet the humidity comes and goes. When humidity comes in Ohio, it stays. And of course, I'm 70 now, so I'm not as chipper as I used to be. But it was starting to wipe me out a little bit. But still, I'll take it over snow any day. Yes, I will. What do you say we get down to the news? I've did the format a little bit different to make it easier for everybody. I'm going to break it down by brand, and then by recalls, and then by what Stellantis is as a whole. And one word of warning, you're going to think this is the Jeep report for all the articles I have on Jeep. So the Chrysler and Dodge fans, it makes you wonder if they're really doing anything. Well, we'll find out in due time. Remember, Stellantis told them they had a 10-year window to prove themselves if they wanted to stay as brands of Mopar. So if they want to stay with Stellantis and continue selling those brands, well, they just have to earn themselves. So we'll see what happens with that in the future. So let's get down with the news. Got a lot of it here. The Chrysler brand, David Zatz of Stelpower found out from the Windsor, Ontario Canada Star newspaper, the Windsor Star, that Chrysler brand CEO Christine Fuel has announced a 2-row midsize SUV will be coming out in 2025, and it will be a Chrysler. That's it for Chrysler news. On the Dodge front, Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, reports season number 2 of the Dodge Europe's In and Out video series is underway. The season premiere has host Ida Zetterstrom pitting the challenger against Andrea Iannone, the new brand ambassador for Dodge Europe, and he would be on a Ducati Panigale V4R superbike at the Cathedral of Speed, known as the Assen TT Circuit in the Netherlands. Mr. Iannone drives for Team Go 11 with Ducati motorcycles. Now, you can find this series on YouTube and other Dodge Europe social media. Now, as we all know, the Modern Challenger ended its production run at the end of 2023. Well, the first quarter of 2024 has passed, and the Beard, Patrick Rawl of Stelpower, reports the Challenger is still outselling the soon-to-be ending production Chevrolet Camaro. And the Beard also reported, as well as Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, that Roadkill Nights will be returning to the metropolitan Detroit area later this year. Dodge will once again sponsor the event. The date and location and how to get tickets are not known at this time. The Indiana State Police, through a report that Robert S. Miller has with sourcing from WTHR television in Indianapolis, well, the state police are reporting problems with their 2024 Durango pursuits. They both report that the department has ordered 516 Durangos, 219 have arrived and in service, and 39 of those are out of service due to a defective oil cooler. Now, due to problems occurring during testing, Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, and Jonathan Ramsey of Autoblog report that Dodge will be delaying the public launch of the Charger Daytona electric vehicle another 90 days due to quality concerns. So we'll see if they'll be ready. And as I read one comment, that might be just in time for Roadkill Nights. Let's hope. Now let's go to the Jeep brand. I got an awful lot here. The JJ Body European Jeep Avenger is coming out with a 4xe powertrain to go along with its fully electric powertrain it originally came with, as well as an internal combustion engine model. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, and David Zatzel Stelpower have written several articles, plus they both have links of the video introduction of the new 4xe Jeep Avenger in Europe. And the Avenger itself has outsold all Alfa Romeo models in Europe combined for the first quarter of 2024. Now, Jeep did put out a teaser video on the new Wagoneer S ahead of its first reveal on May 30th, 2024. And Robert S. Miller of Mopar Insiders, Patrick Rawl of Stelpower, and Jonathan Ramsey of Autoblog have written articles about the video and what to expect on the Wagoneer S. Now, 5 days later, the production version of the Wagoneer S has been revealed. Joel Stocksdale of Autoblog, Robert S. Miller of Mopar Insiders, and Jared Balfour, also of Mopar Insiders, and Patrick Rawl of Stelpower, have full reports on the reveal if you want to look those up. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, and Jonathan Ramsey of Autoblog report Jeep CEO Carlos Filosa has confirmed the Jeep Cherokee will be returning in 2025. It will be built in Toluca, Mexico, alongside the Wagoneer S and the Recon, with additional units to be built in Italy. A 4xe system for the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer will be coming out in 2026. Both Robert S. Miller and Jared Balfour of Mopar Insiders and Joel Stocksdale of Autoblog report the powertrain will be based on the system that will power the Ram 1500 Ram Charger. Although vague in what it's going to be, David Zatz of Stelpower and Jonathan Ramsey of Autoblog report Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares has announced a $25,000 Jeep electric vehicle is coming out soon. And David Zatz of Stelpower, Joel Stocksdale of Autoblog, and Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders report when it does, it will bring the return of the Renegade name to the United States and Canada. There's one thing I got to tell you about that is it's not going to be a flat out priced $25,000 vehicle. What this will be, it will be with incentives to bring the price down. It's going to be like a $27,000 vehicle, but with the incentives through government or whatever, it will bring its price down to $25,000. $100,000. Okay, and in more news, in Brazil, the Jeep Renegade will be adding an additional model. It's the same Renegade that was just discontinued in the U.S. and Canada. But that model will be bringing an additional model. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders reports a Sahara model will be added to the Brazilian Renegade lineup. The Gladiator is getting a Nighthawk edition. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders reports only 2,000 will be made for the United States and Canadian markets. They are now starting to show up on dealer lots. And speaking of the Gladiator, David Zatz of Stelpower and Robert S. Miller of Mopar Insiders and Zach Palmer of Autoblog report the Rubicon model has been chosen to be the base vehicle for the 2024 Mopar Special Edition. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders reports Mexico will start selling Wrangler Unlimited 4xEs soon. David Zatz of Stelpower reports the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety has given the Wagoneer a top safety pick award for 2024. Brand Key is a company that surveys the auto brands, and David Zatz of Stelpower and Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders report that Jeep is once again considered to be the most patriotic nameplate. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports the 2024, and just like I said before, with David Zatz, the top safety pick for the Wagoneer. I didn't combine that. That's my fault. After a year hiatus, Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports the Gladiator Rubicon will be returning to the Brazilian market. Way back when former President William Jefferson Clinton was on trial, a clarification had to be made on the definition of the word is. That's right, I-S, is. Well, I guess we may need to do the same with the word final. Case in point, Stellantis has a final edition Wrangler 392 coming out during the 2024 model year, and they're also bringing it out for the 2025 model year. Now, final edition meant to me, after this, it will be done. No more. Get yours now while you can. But David Zatz of Stelpower and Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders and Jonathan Ramsey of Autoblog all report that final edition will also be coming out with different equipment for 2025. They did the same thing before with the Durango Hellcat in 2 different years, and now this makes you wonder what's next. The next generation Compass will be coming out in the 2026 model year, but not in India due to its higher pricing. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports instead, India will continue to have updated versions of the current generation starting in the 2026 model year. Rumors of a gasoline engine were rumored to be offered, but was confirmed a diesel engine will be the only engine offered for the Compass in India. The European market JJ Body Jeep Avenger has a new milestone. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports 100,000 customer orders have now been made for the European Avenger. In Ram news, once again, the United States and Canada lose out. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders, with additional sourcing from Autocosmos, reports that there will be a new mid-sized Ram 1200 coming out for the Brazilian and Mexican markets. Sorry for the pause there. It'll be coming out for the Mexican and South American markets. Based on the Peugeot Landtrek, the Ram 1200 will be built in Uruguay for the South American market. And of all places, where else to go to but China for the Mexican market? Why? Why China? All these countries in the world, and they go to China. Why? I have no idea. It just boggles my mind. Ram Brazil will be discontinuing the DS-bodied Ram 1500 Classic. But before production ends, Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports 100 limited edition Ram RTs will be made. Ram receives another award. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports the 2025 Ram 1500 Tungsten Interior has won a Ward's Automotive Top 10 Award for Best Interior. Ram and Chrysler CEO Christine Fuel has announced a new small electric van is coming. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports it will be based off the Fiat e-Studo van, but other reports say a non-electric powertrain will be coming out as well. The Brazilian market Ram Rampage compact truck for 2025 will be adding a new lower trim level. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports the Bighorn will be added to the Rampage lineup, plus a new 2.2-liter diesel engine will be available. Jared Balfour of Mopar Insiders and Jonathan Ramsey of Autoblog report it's official. The 2025 Ram heavy-duty trucks will only be available with one version of the Cummins turbo diesel. The reason why? Next year as well will become the 2025 Ram heavy-duty trucks will be coming equipped with an 8-speed automatic powerline transmission built by ZF, and that will be coming out, which means between what the transmission will offer and the engine, it will be an even higher output than even the high output engine for 2024. It'll be a more powerful combination, and that powerful combination will be available for all Ram heavy duties that have a diesel truck. In recall news, 7 Jeep Grand Cherokees built between December 6th through December 9th, 2023 are being recalled. David Zatz Steel Power reports they may be missing some foam from the front fascia, what you would call bumper cover, that may not allow the airbag system to function properly. David Zatz Steel Power, Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders, and the staff of Autoblog reports over 211,000 2022 Durangos and Ram heavy duties will be recalled for a safety issue with the anti-lock brake module that can cause the electronic stability control to malfunction. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports 214 2023 Ram pickups are being recalled for a transmission control module that is leaking fluid. More than 260 ProMaster vans will be recalled. David Zatz of Steel Power and Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders report a side door beam is missing on certain models, and an incorrect tire placard or sticker was also installed. The affected vehicles will have the side door beam added to the doors, and the sticker will be installed over the existing placard sticker. 4 Wranglers are being recalled. David Zatz of Steel Power and Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders report there is a problem with the power distribution center that could affect the taillights on a trailer while towing. David Zatz of Steel Power reports 50 Grand Cherokees are being recalled for second-row seatbelts that may not have been secured properly. Autoblog pulled an article from Reuters, and Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders are reporting that 1.16 million vehicles built by Stellantis are being recalled for software problems with the radio that can cause the rear view camera to malfunction. This is on a ton of different models. Go to Autoblog or MoparInsiders.com and read their articles to find out what models they are. And there's an extensive amount of models that included in that recall. And please remember, with any or all recalls, have your vehicle identification number handy and ready, and call your dealer to see if your vehicle is a part of the recall. Now, let's go to the final portion of the news, which is what's going on with Stellantis Corporate. Now, with additional sourcing from WDIV television in Detroit, Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealerships are still having higher than normal dealer stocking levels. Dealerships normally keep 50 days worth of stock. Stellantis dealerships have around 100 days. Couple that with higher interest rates, and Stellantis having average transaction prices on vehicles that are 120 to 125% higher, it doesn't make for a good selling formula. The Texas Auto Writers Association has handed out their 2024 Texas Auto Roundup Awards, and Stellantis has won 2 of them. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid has won the Minivan of Texas Award for the 8th year in a row, and the Alfa Romeo Giulia won the Performance Car of Texas Award. Robert S. Miller Mopar Insiders reports The Bedum Automotive Paul manufacturing plant located in Minas Gerais, Brazil, I hope I pronounced that right. That plant will be receiving 14 billion Brazilian dollars in reinvestment. The monies will be going to launch 40 new products, 8 powertrains, biohybrid technology, and more efficient and sustainable manufacturing processes. Around 4 months ago, Stellantis announced their newly filled executive positions. And now, Senior Vice President of U.S. Retail Sales, Jason Stoicevich, has left Stellantis for personal reasons. Mr. Stoicevich's replacement will be Matt Thompson. Mr. Thompson has been with Stellantis 25 years and previously held several dealer networking positions with the company. Plus, another retirement is coming up. David Zatso-Stelpar, with sourcing from Vince Bond Jr. of Automotive News, report Jim Morrison, whose most recent position was the head of Jeep Performance Parts, is retiring. Mr. Morrison started working at Chrysler Corporation in 1995. Prior to being the head of Jeep Performance Parts, he was head of Jeep from 2019 until 2023, and before that, Mr. Morrison was head of Ram from 2016 until 2019. David Zatso-Stelpar reports Stellantis has hired Rajiel Register as a senior vice president to run marketing, social and digital media, websites and analytics, and paid operations for the original Chrysler brands and Alfa Romeo in North American markets. Ms. Register was working for Cisco, and before that, she worked for Ford. People leaving Stellantis and others being moved around is not just happening in North America. David Zatso-Stelpar reports they are going on in Europe as well. Global Chief Customer Experience Officer Richard Schwartzwald has resigned for personal reasons. Mr. Schwartzwald's replacement will now be former Global Corporate Office Public Affairs Chief Oliver Borges. And Mr. Borges will be replaced by Clara Ingenhaus. More management shuffling has also taken place, including the head of Jeep Europe, Eric Laforge, will now become the head of Jeep and Ram in Europe as well. The former head of Dodge and Ram in Europe, Domenico Gastoli, will be in charge of Italy's light commercial sales, European-wide military sales, and Ram fleet sales in Europe. We're still not done. One more here. The Vice President of Artificial Intelligence, Algorithms, and Machine Learning, Berta Rodriguez-Hervas, has resigned to pursue a new opportunity. At least second to last is better than dead last. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, with sourcing from CarEdge.com, reports the Jaguar I-Piece has taken the place of the Dodge Hornet as the least-selling model. 3 more Stellantis models are also in the top 10 of slowing vehicles: the Ram Heavy Duty 2500, Jeep Gladiator, and Jeep Wagoneer. Now, there's too much to report in this headlines here, but Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, has an extensive report on automotive software offerings that are being made available from Stellantis. Stellantis in Brazil is introducing a biohybrid system for the South American market Fiat Pulse and Fastback and the Jeep and Commander models. The base engine is the 1.3-liter 4-cylinder from the STLA small engine family, and it will run on biofuels and a hybrid system. Now, the wraps have returned. The big building wraps that was famous in Auburn Hills, well, Stellantis has brought one out, as Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, and David Zatz report. He's from Stelpower. The new Jeep Wagoneer S has been draped over the Stellantis North American headquarters in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, reports the Durango, Ram Heavy Duty 2500 and 3500 in Canada have earned the VinCentric 2024 Best Value Awards. Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares admits there are problems with the original Chrysler brands. And Robert S. Miller of Mopar Insiders reports he blames himself first for the excess inventory, manufacturing issues, marketing, and finding out how differently things run in North America. Yes, they are different, no matter where they're even different from state to state. I don't know how you could think everything's the same worldwide, because it is not. Now, during the COVID pandemic, Stellantis engineers and other employees who worked in the main offices in Auburn Hills, Michigan, were told to work from home. And now Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders reports with sourcing from Bloomberg and Automotive News that Stellantis is now asking those employees to start showing up more often for work in their Auburn Hills offices. I'll talk straight yet. And after telling its employees to start coming to the office more often, David Zatz of Stelpower and Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders report with sourcing from WDIV Television and John McElroy of Autoline all report a lot more layoffs will be coming to the Auburn Hills offices. Carlos Tavares cites, in order to be competitive in the global marketplace, the labor to do the jobs at Auburn Hills will have to come from countries who have cheaper labor. The number of layoffs will be significant, but an exact number has not been given yet. And with all the personnel changes and layoffs, with more rumored to be coming in North America, David Zatz of Stelpower and Robert S. Miller of Mopar Insiders reports Stellantis is investing an additional $55 million into Archer Aviation. Why? Because Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares said he wants to turn Stellantis into a total mobility company. In France, Belgium, and Luxembourg, Stellantis has set up a vehicle end-of-life recycling program called Circular Economy, where they take Stellantis vehicles ready to go to the junkyard and strip off the parts they could use to rebuild and other parts to be melted down for other uses. And David Zatz of Stelpower reports Stellantis would like to start a program like Circular Economy in the United States of America. Now, you can think what you want about this next, and there's lots of reasons why, and lots of legitimate reasons why you would think. But Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders, reports Stellantis has announced it will be moving towards a chrome-free future. That's right, no chrome. Yes, you could say it's another cost-cutting measure, and you could very well be right, but it also takes a lot of hazardous materials to make chrome. There is an episode on Motor Trend's Bitch and Rides where they went to a plating facility to show how the plating process is done. It's a very labor-intensive process that uses a lot of hazardous materials, electricity, and other things to get the job done. And so I could sort of see their point. It's costly. It can be hurting the environment possibly, if it's not under control. It's a lot of work. So I could sort of see that, but I could also see the people who say they're cheapening it up because they don't want any more chrome on their cars. But then again, you stop and think, the amount of chrome on a car is not as much as it used to be either. Now, the J.D. Power initial quality survey came out. David Zatz of Stelpower and Robert S. Miller, Mopar Insiders report Ram has the highest rating this time around. They were number 1. Jeep came in number 20. Unfortunately, Dodge came in second to the last, and Chrysler didn't even make the list. David Zatz of Stelpower, with reporting from WDIV Television in Detroit, reports that the Warren, Michigan assembly plant is now down to one shift and will be that way until sales pick up. The assembly plant makes Wagoneers and the DS body Ram 1500 Classic. Now, while there was some decent gains in certain markets, David Zatz of Stelpower reports overall the former FCA U.S. brands of Stellantis sales for the second quarter 2024 were down 21% compared to last year. Mr. Zatz does a thorough breakdown of the sales figures in his article in stelpower.com. And we're going to wind up the news segment with some good news. Graveyard Cars is back with season number 20 on Motor Trend TV. The new episodes are airing on Tuesday nights right now at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And happy birthday wishes go out to Autoblog.com, who I receive a lot of links from. They are celebrating their 20th anniversary, their 20th birthday. Happy birthday, Autoblog. It's a great place if you want to find out what's going on in the auto industry and a whole lot more. It's a fun place. It does funny stuff. It does serious stuff. very unbiased. They cover all the brands that they can. They don't do much with NASCAR or NHRA, but they do a lot with Formula One if they want to keep up with race news. They have a great group of journalists there. Plus, there's Miralee Martin, who does the Junkyard Gems, and I do highlight those. And all the articles I do put on my Facebook, X, and Threads pages, and LinkedIn. On my LinkedIn account, look for Scott Gresser. And but I put all those articles out there, as well as all the others that I do. But happy birthday to Autoblog.com. They do a great job. Now, you can find full links of these stories and more at Autoblog.com, Autoline.tv, Autonews.com. Now, you may need a paid subscription to see some of their articles. Click on Detroit.com, which is the website for WDIV television in Detroit, MoparInsiders.com, Reuters.com, and StelPower.com. Now, I'm going to be doing this monologue off the cuff, totally unscripted. Normally I'm looking right now at my laptop computer, and I want to make sure I don't forget anything. That's why I write it down. Now, sometimes it's going to sound like I read a script, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going totally script-free on this because this is what's sort of bugging me a little bit. There's been some pundits out there who give their idea, about what's going on with Chrysler. Oh, how they got rid of the Hemi engines, which we do all love. I love them as well. Don't get me wrong. But they keep saying, and then they bring up, the Charger's becoming a flop, how it's going to be 90 days late getting there because of quality concerns. Well, that's not the first car they've had that happen to, and other manufacturers as well. They want to make sure they bring out a good product. But the thing is this, no matter what these people say or think, the Hemi itself had to go. You stop and think through the years. Now, I've got this written down here. Now, you take the Ford Coyote 5-liter engine. Right now, it is on its 4th generation. The engine first came out clear back in 2011. But they are now on a 4th generation of a modified 5-liter to keep up with horsepower and pollution concerns. Also, with Chevrolet, you got to remember, we can't count the Camaro in anymore as far as a V8 car. The Camaro is done being produced. The only thing left is the Corvette. That is it. And it has a 5.5-liter engine that came out in 2022. It was brought up in the news back in 2019. It came out from what little I've read about it. It came out in 2022. I don't keep up with the other brands so much. When you love a brand so much, you do keep up, but then again, you don't with the others. So, and with this program, I do have to make sure I keep up with all the Mopar news. Now, what about the Chrysler Hemi? It came out in 2003 in the pickup trucks. It was like the first 1 or 2 months of the 2003 model year. They still had leftover powertrains from 2002, which was the 4.7 and the 5.9 LA engine V8, the Magnum V8. And shortly after that, then the 5.7 Hemis came out. They came out in 2004 in the cars as 2005 models. The thing is this, with the exception in 2009 when they did some modifications to the 5.7, they've really done nothing to keep up with fuel efficiency and pollution standards and making it more efficient. It is, as one person told me, it is a dirty engine. He has 2 Chargers himself. And the Hemi is a great engine, don't get me wrong, but it has been very outdated. Chrysler kept running it, making sales. The thing is, though, to keep it running because it was such a filthy and fuel engine, took some fuel, that they were buying pollution credits from Tesla, and that was in the millions of dollars. And quite frankly, what I've heard none of these pundits say is, why didn't Chrysler or the Chrysler brands come out with a new generation of engines like 10 years ago, 2013. It would have been 10 years since the first generation ran, and they should have come out with a new generation of engines. Now, yes, I want to tell you this, that yes, we did in 2016, we did get the Hellcat, and later on we had the Demon, the Demon engines. We had the, oh crap, I can't even think of the name now, the other one, but then there's also the Demon 170 engine. But these engines came out, but they were still not modified versions to keep things going more pollute. These were specialized engines that came out. And like I said, the Hellcat, the Demon, and the Red Eye, that's right, the Red Eye. Those were part of the 6.2 liter engine family, and they came out. They were more powerful versions, but as far as the standard markets go with the 6.4, even though there might have been a Scat Pack version or not, but the 6.4, the 6.1, and the 5.7 never received any modifications. They just kept building them and selling them because people were buying them, and why not? They're great cars. But they still, with government regulations, price of gasoline and everything else, they needed to keep doing research on them, bring out new generations, and who knows, they could have been fuel efficient enough to stay on the market. Maybe not. But Carlos Tavares has been doing some things, as you very well read in the news, that I don't really care about that what he's doing. There's been about a couple other Chrysler employees the same thing. But he was right on this one. They had to quit paying for the credits to Tesla in the millions of dollars just to bring out these old engines. That research money, and he even said it himself, that money being spent should be used to research for future product. And as far as I'm concerned, part of that future product should have been a more advanced V8 engine to go along with the times and keep the momentum going. Now, yes, they're coming out with the Hurricane engine. One person said that they're having all kinds of issue with head gaskets. Well, they did with the Pentastar V6 too in the beginning. It had problems with the left cylinder head. When I bought my 2014 Town & Country, I looked in the parts book because I was at the Chrysler dealer then, and sure enough, they changed the part number to the head, so I made sure I got a 2014, and I've had no problems with that engine. But then again, I only have 26,000 miles on it because my 06 just wants to keep on running, and it has 339,000 miles on it, and it just wants to keep going. So it saved me over 153,000 miles that I did not put on the 2014. So yes, I'm going to keep running it. It does have some rust, but hey, it keeps going. It's going to save me for the 2014 in the long run. Now, we're done with the monologue, so please keep in mind, why didn't Chrysler do that? Why didn't the Chrysler brands come out with a new mid-generation Hemi V8? They could have been around a lot longer, but they didn't. They just kept going on and going on, and now we got people all ticked off about it. And like I said, you've heard me do this in the beginning. It's like deja vu. We're going through this again. Hopefully Chrysler will be able to come out with something. They got the Hurricane 6. We'll see what happens in the future. Now, let's get down to the show calendar. It is getting to, I'm doing this now on July 2nd, 2024. We're halfway through the year. So that means as far as people in the Northern Hemisphere, we're halfway done with our show season. So the dates are getting less. So here we go with what's going on with the shows. First off, in Alberta, I got to get where is my cursor at? I hate this thing. You don't know where it's at, but there it is. Okay, I got to see something here, and we're still recording. Okay. In Alberta, Canada, July 27th, 2024. Sorry about that little technical clip there. The Western Canada's largest Mopar show, the Western Mopar Madness, will be held at the Rad Torque Raceway in Leduc County, Alberta, Canada, from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. The hosting club is Edmonton Mopar Association, EMAWMM.com for more information. The great state of Connecticut, September 22nd, the 16th annual Innovators Show and Shine All Mopar Show at Artioli Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Enfield. That begins with an E. Enfield, Connecticut. Goes from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. The hosting club is Mopars in Motion. Contact Ralph at 860-416-1228 for more information. The great state of Florida, October 1st through the 5th. Mopars at the Beach at Daytona Beach, Florida. This is not Myrtle Beach anymore. The reason, again, and I said this in previous ones, but still want to get it straight, Kathy Pearson Bridges moved to Florida to be closer to family. And she also took the event with her. There will be a new event coming up in South Carolina as I go down the list alphabetically of the states. But Mopars at the Beach will be in the Daytona Beach, Florida area, not Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Check her out. You know, there's Facebook page for that. And there's also, it's still in the planning stages, but it is coming together. And that is the Mopars at the Beach at Daytona Beach, Florida. I've been putting notices as she's been putting them up. So just keep in mind, just keep up with that. People are looking forward to going to it, just like they did up in South Carolina, and I hope she has great success down in Florida as well. November 2nd and 3rd, Mopars with Big Daddy at the Garlits Drag Racing Museum in Ocala, Florida. For more information, 352-245-8661 or go to garlits.com. The great state of Illinois. This is all in one weekend. July 20th, it's the Midwest Charger Meet and also the Modern Mopar Muscle Meet. And on the 21st, it's the Belvedere Mopar Happening 2024. All these events are happening from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Belvedere, Illinois. The hosting club is the Chicagoland Mopar Connection. Go to their Facebook page, Chicagoland Mopar Club, under events for more contact information on each event. In the great state of Iowa, August 3rd, Mopar Day at Humboldt County Dragway in Humboldt, Iowa. The hosting club is the North Iowa Mopars. Search Mopar Max on Facebook for more information. August 25th, Mopars on the Mississippi 2024 at the Dubuque County Fairgrounds in Dubuque, Iowa. It goes on from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. Again, the hosting club is the Chicagoland Mopar Connection. Go to their Facebook page, Chicagoland Mopar Club, under events for more contact information. In the great state of Kentucky, August 31st, the 29th annual Southern Classic at Kentucky Dragway in Clay City, Kentucky. Contact James Pendergrass or email them at moparsouthern.classic@gmail.com. And one of the biggest shows out there, September 13th through the 15th, it's becoming a pretty good-sized show. Holly Mo Party will be at Beach Bend Raceway in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Go to moparty.com. I also have a flyer on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast for more information. In the great state of Louisiana, July 24th through the 28th, it's the 38th Annual National DeSoto Club Convention. It will be held in New Orleans, Louisiana. Go to DeSoto, DESOTO.org for more information. The great state of Michigan, September 21st, the 13th Annual Michigan Mopar Muscle Club All Mopar Car Show and Swap Meet will be held from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Hub Stadium in Auburn Hills, Michigan. The hosting club is the Michigan Mopar Muscle Car Club. You can go to MichiganMoparMuscle.com or email showinfo@MichiganMoparMuscle.com. The flyer is also on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast. Great state of Minnesota, August 4th through the 9th, the Plymouth Owners Club National Meet and Greet. In Brainerd, Minnesota, the hosting chapter is the Tall Pines region of the Plymouth Owners Club. Go to PlymouthOwners.club for more information, plus the flyer is on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast. In the great state of Nebraska, July 21st, it's the second annual H&H Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram All Mopar Show at H&H Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Papillon, Nebraska. Go to their Facebook page and Instagram pages for more information. Flyer is also on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast. September 14th Actually, we'll go to September 11th first through the 15th. It's the Chrysler 300 Club International Fall Meet. Will be held in Omaha, Nebraska. More information to follow. And September 14th, the 18th annual Mopar Mega Meet at Papillon La Vista South High School Stadium in Papillon, Nebraska. Contact Dan at 402-740-1054 for more information, or go to highimpactperformance.org. In the great state of New York, October 13th, Mopar's at the Valley Car Show and Swap Meet at Lebanon Valley Dragway, East Chatham, New York. Hosting club is Capital Area Mopars. Dragway.com for more information. The great state of North Carolina, November 16th. Fall Mopars at the Rock at Rockingham Dragway in Rockingham, North Carolina. RockinghamDragway.com for more information. The great state of Ohio. We've had a lot of shows so far. I guess we're gonna be taking a break in July, because come August 2nd through the 4th, it's Mopars at 42 at Dragway 42 in West Salem, Ohio. Also, the 33rd annual Mid-Ohio Mopar Show will be part of Mopar Madness at 42. It will be held on August 3rd. The show will be, with a rain date of August 4th. Now, the flyer's on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast. Or you can also go to dragway42.com for more race information, because it is a drag racing and car show all in one event there. The following weekend, August 9th through the 11th, the 43rd Annual Nationals at National Trail Raceway in Kirkersville, Ohio, east of Columbus, Ohio, right on US 40. Go to moparnats.org. The flyer is also on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast. And they did get their glitches fixed. They are up and running and taking registrations and everything else. September 15th, the annual Chrysler Car Club of Toledo Car Show will be held at Yark Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the Central Avenue Strip in Toledo, Ohio. More information to follow. September 19th through the 22nd. It is the second annual World of Mopar Show at Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio. Ontario, Canada. Now, that is a happening place as well this year. The Mopar Fest, Canada's largest all-Mopar car show, will be going on this August 17th and 18th, each day from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. at 251 Jacob Street in New Hamburg, Ontario. For more information, go to moparfest.com. August 6th to the 11th, it will be, I got the dates mixed up. I should have been this one first. That's okay. August 6th to the 11th, the Walter P. Chrysler Club National Meet will be in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. For more information, go to chryslerclub.org. August 13th through the 16th, the 59th Annual Airflow Club National Meet will be held at 4 Point Sheridan by Marriott in London, Ontario, Canada. Airflowclub.com for more information. And on August 24th, the second annual Motor City Mopar Show at Motor City Chrysler in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. The hosting club is the Windsor Area Mopar Muscle Club. For more details go to the WAAMM, short for Windsor Area Mopar Muscle, Facebook page under events. That's WAAMM. In the great state of Oregon, August 4th will be the 39th annual Woodburn Dragstrip Mopar Nationals at Woodburn Dragstrip in Woodburn, Oregon. Go to woodburndragstrip.com or call 541-746-4620. The flyer for this event is on my Instagram account. Search Walt Parr Podcast. August 8th through the 10th, the Walter P. Chrysler Pacific Northwest Regional Meet will also be held in Woodburn, Oregon. Email for more information. That's d.duthie@comcast.net. That's d.duthie@comcast.net. Pennsylvania, the granddaddy and the biggest one of them all. It's the Chrysler Carlisle Nationals at Carlisle Fairgrounds in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Search CarlisleEvents.com for more information. Now, if you go to MoparInsiders.com, Robert S. Miller has a great preview article and some tips if you're going for the first time to the Chryslers at Carlisle. It's a great article to read, gives you some previews of some shows, some what marks they're celebrating this year, such as anniversaries. It's a great article. It gets you all caught up with the preview of Carlisle. Please make sure you go. That's carlisleevents.com for more information. South Carolina, August 16th through the 19th. It's Mopar Fever at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Go to 8f03mopars.org or their Facebook page. This is the event that's put on by Michael Stark, and he's the one that took over for Mopars at the Beach. This is the event that replaces Mopars at the Beach. As I told you before, they moved to Daytona Beach, Florida area. This is what's taking the place of that to keeping a Mopar event going in the fall at Myrtle Beach. So please support that one as well. South Dakota, August 24th. Mopar Rama 2024 is back. It was gone for a year. This event will be held at Billion Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hosting club is the Sioux Empire Mopars. The great state of Tennessee, September 28th, 2024. The 35th Annual Music City Mopar Club Show will be held at the Wilson County Fairgrounds in Lebanon, Tennessee. Hosting club is the Music City Mopar Club. Dial 615-972-1056 for more information or go to musiccitymoparclub.com. In the great state of Virginia, August 31st, it's Mopars in the Valley, powered by Berglund Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Salem Civic Center. $20 for pre-registration, $30 day of the show. Rain date is September 1st. It's hosted by David Simmons and the Roanoke Valley Mopar Club. Search Roanoke Valley Mopar Club on Facebook for more information. In the great state of Washington, June 28th, 2024, July 28th, if I didn't say that right, July 28th, the 19th Annual Mopar Magic All Mopar Car Show and Shine at Peninsula High School in Gig Harbor, Washington. AllAroundMopars.com for more information. Well, we have 2 events left on the Modern Street Hemi Shootout Series presented by Sippel Speed and Performance. They are August 16th and 17th. The 4th stop will be part of the Woodward Dream Cruise Weekend in Detroit, Michigan. October 18th and 19th. The 5th stop will be at Maryland International Raceway in Mechanicsville, Maryland. For more information, hemirace.com. Now, if you have an all Mopar event, be it a show, swap meet, etc., please let me know. You can email your flyer at waltparpodcast@aol.com or message me on my social media at waltparpodcast. You know, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Instagram. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X. Please email me those or send it to me through the messaging there, and I'll be more than happy to put it out for you. Please leave it as a Mopar only event. I don't want to say, well, this is a good one. I can't do it. It's got to be strictly a Mopar show. I'll be more than happy to put it on. And please give me good enough time to make sure I get it on there. And if you're wanting to go, as always, please make sure you contact the event staff to make sure the show is still going on when the date comes for that day. A lot of cancellations happened during the pandemic. And we even had it on Facebook and other social media, and we still had people show up when we had the Mid-Ohio Mopar show that was supposed to go on. Why didn't you let us know? Well, we did as best we can. We certainly did. So please make sure you call the staff before you go. Message me at waltparpodcast@aol.com or on my social media. I'll be more than happy to get your shows going. I actually have one here for 2025. It's the Winter Classic, the fall or the Wintertime Classic Swap Meet, All Mopar Swap Meet. That's put on by Jeff Johnson Motorsports. That will be February 22nd, 2025 in Columbus, Ohio at the Ohio Expo Center. I'll wait and put that on later, but I saved that to put on the calendar. Please let me know. I'd love to put your show on there. There's no charge to do it. I'm here to advance the Mopar hobby. That's one way to do it. And please, if you can, help out at all the shows, past or present. Please do your part in helping out. Volunteer levels are down no matter what the situation is, so please make sure you help them out. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on the Waltpar Podcast this time. Thanks to Zach Palmer, Jonathan Ramsey of Joel Stocksdale of Autoblog, John McElroy of Autoline, Automotive News, Jared Balfour and Robert Esmeralda Mopar Insiders, Patrick Rawl and David Zatz of Steel Power, WDIV Television in Detroit, Michigan, the Windsor Star Newspaper in Windsor, Ontario, WTHR Television in Indianapolis for their contributions, as well as Reuters for their contributions with episode 12 of the Walt Parr Podcast. And thanks to the many followers on my Facebook page, on X, on Instagram, and on Threads, I appreciate you very much. And you can join me as well on those. Search Walt Parr Podcast. I am on LinkedIn. Search for my name, Scott Gresser, and I'm also on LinkedIn as well. So please, I've sent out a lot of messages and emails about the Walt Parr Podcast to over 100 Mopar and AMC clubs combined. But I could still use your help, too, to please help spread the word about the podcast. When you go on, please subscribe to whatever podcast platform you use, or on YouTube or Rumble, and give us a review. I need to know what's going on. I have not heard anything from anybody, but please let me know how I can improve the podcast. I would appreciate it very, very much. And so please make sure you tell your fellow Mopar fans, lovers, and enthusiasts about the Walt Parr Podcast. I would appreciate it very much. And when you do listen, please make sure you can give me a top rating whenever you do. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or suggestions, please feel free to email me, Walt Parr Podcast. That's WALTPAR Podcast at AOL.com. You can snail mail me at P.O. Box 455, Apple Creek, that's 2 words, Apple Creek, Ohio, 44606. And please don't forget to check out the other Mopar podcasts that are out there, the Dodge Pod with Robert, the T-N-T- podcast with Tara Graves and Tina Bogus, although they've not done a single podcast yet this year. And let's not forget Talking Mopars either with the Mopar hunter himself, Chris Albrecht. But before I go, please, whenever you go to a car show or a cruise-in, find a Mopar that is totally different than yours and say hello to them. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you join me next time here on the Walt Parr Podcast. And as Mike Bonadonna of the Citrus County, Florida Mopar Club always says at the end of their newsletters, of his address on the newsletter, keep those highways beautiful. Drive your Mopars. Uniting all generations and types and fans of Mopar lovers, fans, and enthusiasts everywhere, from Walter P. Chrysler to today's Mopar and beyond. This has been the Walt Parr Podcast. Take care, everyone. The Walt Parr Podcast is a production of Auto Catawba LLC. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you later.